everyone, welcome back to my channel.
Yes,
Yeah, I'm sure you guys can start eating. We're starving, so we're gonna start eating, but this is a Jamaican mukbang. And the topic of the day is online dating for Christian women.
That is not what you told me.
I never told you anything, actually. I just said it right. So,
She did
surprise.
literally just said it.
Surprise. Can we frame?
Yes.
Okay. Who's frames?
You're the
Gina,
mukbanger.
Esquire.
Okay, dear Heavenly Father, thank you so much for allowing us to be able to come together today, for giving us the means to get this food and traveling horses to bring it back to the house in this time to fellowship together and eat and have some conversation for all of the internets. Just help it to go well. Bless hands that prepare it.
Amen.
I think we already blessed the hands that prepared it with our
money.
money. So let's show you a little bit of what we have. These people are hungry, so they started eating. But we have, is this festival?
Festival.
Festival, which is Jamaican sweet bread. These are these the veggie patties? These are veggie patties. Just take yours out. Veggie patties. And we have something Gina does not like. This one here blasphemes against sweet plantains.
Not good, man.
Sweet plantains, which the Lord ordained for his children. And
And
now we're a mix of carnivores and people who eat, carnivores and people who eat plant-based. So Stephanie Moses, Dr. Stephanie Moses here.
Felton, thank you.
Oh, Stephanie Moses Felton, or Stephanie Felton. I can't get used to saying that.
Yes, you don't have to.
you have to. You ain't got to.
Okay.
Listen.
Dr. Stephanie Felton is a carnivore, and she is having, what are you having, Stephanie?
Oxtail and curd goat,
Okay.
And veggies.
And rice and peas.
and rice and peas.
Yeah.
And
Nobody-
most importantly, meat.
Right.
Least importantly, people. Least importantly. Dogs, what are you having?
You know what? I'm actually having me some goat. I'm gonna partake in some of that oxtail.
She's a part-time vegetarian.
Yeah,
Yeah.
of late. I was
Full-time child of God.
Let's see what that meat do.
A flexitarian.
Get that body right.
Okay.
And
some help up in here.
Gina and I are having
Curry mutton,
veggie curry mutton.
boiled dumpling,
Yeah.
and rice and peas.
So I think because this is in Loma Linda, well, this is close to Loma Linda, which is an Adventist institution, they offer some veggie options, which I haven't seen many Jamaican restaurants do. So yeah. And then Dims is having
Ackee and saltfish.
yay.
And potatoes are bomb. So
Yeah, so we're
And I'm
just
going
going
to
to
partake in
go
some
ahead.
of the Californian substances.
Yeah, it's delicious.
I was talking about the hot sauce. The yellow one, I don't know what it's called, but it's so good.
Most of
It's-
it's habanero, but
we don't
with it.
It's so good.
There's a lot. They're all there.
So Christian dating and online Christians, being Christian women who do online dating. Everybody here has done it. Who wants to start?
Let's start with someone who was successful.
Right.
Yeah, let's do that.
Felton.
What's the question?
How did you meet?
Should we
Topic and go.
should we as Christians don't online date? Is
No,
that-
but I mean, I don't think
How did
in
you
this
go
day and
about
age, how,
online dating?
like there's any, I don't know,
Well,
most
there are people who like
there
that's part
are,
of the
but
conversation.
most Christians don't
You
subscribe to
posted
that.
this like God lead.
And he led me online,
Did he or did you
www.tinder.com.
Did he lead you there or did you
Somebody
find your
led.
way?
I heard the still small voice.
God has enough grace to work it out, regardless of who led you.
Yeah.
I think that if it's the same thing as if you meet anyone anywhere. Like if you meet them at school or at a grocery store, it's the same. It's just a different vehicle to get you there. But truly, with all dating, you just have to be secure in yourself. Like if you know what you want, if you know the things that you're looking for, and the things that you are and are not willing to compromise, it's the same thing as any other type of dating.
Do you think more so than regular dating? Like, do you think you need to be more secure in who you are and like just have your like? Do you think it takes a little bit more effort?
I think that more so than it being about online dating, it's more so about dating now in this day and age. Because I think the expectation of dating is very different than it was 10 years ago. People, the whole mentality of swiping is that if I don't like something about you, I'm going to
Yeah.
move on. Whereas
There's less
true
choice.
dating is about like, okay, how can we process this to make sure this works? So I think that has to do with our lifestyle of Instagram and social media, and has a lot to do with other things too.
But Steph, you weren't online for very long before you were successful. That's why it's like,
That's why it's God's timing. That's the thing. You have to put that in there too.
Oh, I'm sorry. We're in a cramped space, y'all, because I got a kid table, so.
That she did.
It's very true.
I just feel like my experience has been slightly demoralizing. The longer you're on there, the more like conversations just fade or people are like,
Yeah.
I'm like, I wish people would just say in the first, just in the first like few conversations, whether or not we're gonna meet, and so we can just decide quickly if this is right or if it's not, instead of drawing things out and then the conversation fades and it's like, oh, that was a waste of time.
But that's true with anyone that you
Yeah.
meet, like what their intentions are. If you meet someone at a grocery store, even if you may go out again, what are their intentions? That's like age-old question of dating, of intentionality.
Have you met people at grocery stores?
No, I'm just saying
You
that's what
can.
people do.
Well, have any of you?
No, there was a Modern Love episode about this though. The lady was also bipolar, so it was kind of
Well, I don't go grocery shopping
You
or
know.
shopping in general unless I absolutely have to. So maybe that's why. Also, I think we were praying last night or this morning, and somebody said something about, nobody's looking for perfect, and so they're friending out. I didn't hear the rest of it because I was like, that's why I'm single, because I'm perfect, and nobody's looking for me.
That's not it at all.
Wow.
that's what you took from that.
That's what I took from
Ooh,
that.
where's my ginger beer? I just feel like Jamaican food is not complete without ginger beer.
I can hear it. Huh?
Thank you.
It happens. But
I think that dating in this day and age of coronavirus is very different.
Yeah.
With online
Speak on
dating.
that.
Because
How
how do you meet?
Coronavirus! Coronavirus!
How do you meet someone in a safe way? That's what I would like to know how people are navigating.
I feel like we could have you need like a chaperone who is like your COVID tester, like your rapid
Wow.
tester. You're both negative, yay, let's go.
this is a good time for those very, very, this is going to sound terrible, but Christian people who don't even want any kind of physical contact to date because you can't. You all could possibly infect each other. You gotta stand 6 feet away. Your parents don't gotta
People are
worry.
still having their COVID hoodies going on.
Mhm.
People are having that even more now. It's like, oh.
Yeah.
Or people
You
are
gotta
wearing
stay
masks and
inside.
not condoms, and then that.
You're so dumb.
Well,
I don't know. I don't think that personally the virus has had an impact on my dating life. It went from 0 to 0. So ain't nothing changed.
We gotta change that though. That's not.
that's
That
not
shouldn't be
true.
the normal.
Did not go from 0 to 0.
It's not true.
They
That's
had
not
a
true.
pretty hot
Yes,
2020
exactly.
before
Zero,
pandemic.
5.
Nah,
pretty hot.
you were at like a 3.
Hold on now. Listen, these people don't have your
I would say
thinking.
you've been successful.
You
Yes,
have
you
dated.
have been
very
online dating.
successful.
I would not say
You haven't
that.
been successful in your
Successful.
relationship.
That's
You
what I'm
met
saying.
people from
What is
there.
success? Is it just
You've
if
had
you get
relationships
married?
together.
No, not even that. I'm saying like
And, like, long
by the time you gotta go through like it'd be painful and stuff. Like
It
why?
is.
People just be normal. People just be normal. You
What
like
is
me,
normal?
I like you. Let's make it work. People be coming up with like, if the sky falls and your left third toenail erupts, like how?
Who comes up with that? Nobody.
I'm just making stuff up.
Wait,
Like,
what does that have to do with? I don't understand. where
I'm
you're
just saying
going
like
with
people make life so complicated. At least in my opinion. I thought I was, dramatic, but it's dramatic. Anyway, I digress. Carry on.
It's hard to date perfect. You probably just make your religion
You
go for
right. That's what it is.
What could they do?
Hypertension.
You're the doctor, you'll fix yourself.
I don't know. I think I was telling my coworker the other day that
Yes, a sweet friend.
Yeah, the other one is bomb. I know what's happening with the red one. The other one's bomb.
I think I was still of the mentality that I was always gonna just meet someone out in the world, like, and that's how it would happen. But it's just so much harder these days where
You're wearing a mask.
oh my goodness, and that's all you see is the top half of your face. And
My
honestly,
next
the
one is
bottom
quality.
half of your face can make or break you.
Sure can.
Say that from someone who wore braces for 4 long years. It can make or break you, and it broke me.
She was
So-
beautiful before.
She
No,
was.
don't listen to
She
this.
was.
Do not
Yes.
listen to this.
Don't listen to her.
Listen, it's just harder now. I saw literally this beautiful man at Home Goods
From the eyes up.
from the eyes up, body and everything was banging. I was like,
Did he have a
Lord
weak
Jesus.
chin?
How would I
Yeah,
know?
you can't tell.
That's
You can
why
cover that with a beard.
That's true.
That
but
is-
And you should. If
but
you
yes,
have a weak chin, this is
you
not an
should.
indictment
No,
against you
no.
working out.
But if you
do have a weak chin and you've been covering it up with a beard, so it's difficult to find photos, you gotta let somebody know because you don't want to have a baby and they got a weak chin and you're like, where did this come from? And then you see your husband shaved one day, you're like, oh God, what happened?
Yikes.
You just need to know because there's people that they don't mind that.
I do not
I
care
have
about
to
the
admit
chin at
something
all.
that
I don't
really
care
doesn't
about
have
it.
anything to do with anything. But I always imagine people look a certain way, and I have when they take their mask off, I have been disappointed.
See, you are
Every
visual.
Yeah.
Look at that. You
time.
are visual.
I have been disappointed every time. And not even like people don't look good, but if I think, oh my gosh, I am a positive, giving, kind person. It just occurred to me because I always attribute more
Wow, that was a lot.
to people. And then when I see they take the mask off, I'm just like, ooh.
But that could be a positive of online dating because most people are showing their faces,
Y'all,
so you can actually see what they look
I'm,
like.
I'm kidding. These people don't know me. Everything I say is just is
Oh,
not
It's
not true. I'm
very
just like I said, loving, kind, giving,
No.
and generous.
Yeah, they don't BS when they
People
hear it.
that say those things about themselves
Or not.
I'm only saying it because y'all not gonna say it.
No, we're not. We like to tell the
Exactly.
truth.
These people don't know me.
This is a truthful show. But that's what I'm saying about online dating is that I think it's in some ways it's easier because you can see the person's whole face without a mask. So when you meet,
Oh, true.
maybe you can just stand 6 feet apart and be like, hi, take the mask off.
Some people photograph really well,
That's
and
true.
they put like
Yeah.
really
Most
old
men don't.
pictures.
That's
No,
the
that
way
is
all
not
this
true.
That's not true.
That is
On
not
online
not.
dating?
They look taller than they are.
Yes,
Yes.
they lean on the
Yes.
ankles. They be leaning on the camera.
Yes.
It's
They
like
look
I think you
taller.
always gotta locate them within their space. Like, what are you standing next to? How tall really is that thing next to you?
Mhm.
The
I'm
skinny
talking
ones be
about-
looking thick too. You be like, you mad skinny, or like
Oh my
people
gosh,
photograph.
really?
You know, I don't like skinny guys.
I don't
People
understand
photograph from like up here, and then you meet them, and you're like,
In
you
my
got hips, sir.
Dang.
What is wrong with you?
I'm
Anybody
saying.
with hips?
You maybe should, so your children would have hips.
No.
That's not the way it works.
So people can confuse
Prayer.
him for me.
No,
Absolutely
it's
not.
never been. We only know like
These
one
pictures
person.
be
I've seen
lying.
multiples.
These pictures be
Honestly,
lying.
in
and I'm
my-
sure that's how people think when they see me too. They're like,
No.
where are the hips at?
In my experience
What
with
happened?
online dating, the men have actually looked better in person
Mm.
because, excuse me, the pictures that men take all the time, the camera is here. It's a nose and a mouth and one mustache.
I swear.
And I'm always like, why? So I took
One
a chance
mustache?
on one guy that wrote like a really nice thing, and I was like, I would like to meet this person. And I told him, you look so much better in person. Who took your picture, sir?
Still not good, but better.
No, he actually looked good.
Okay.
Yeah, he looked good. No other reasons why he didn't work out,
Okay.
but it wasn't because of the way that he looked. So that's why I feel
See,
like
that's why you gotta take a chance.
I'm a big proponent of taking chances.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You never know which
You
one.
never
is
know.
gonna-
I actually have had quote unquote good experiences this time around with online dating because I know what I want. So I'm very straightforward when we start talking. And usually if they don't know what they want, that's the end of that because I can be like, okay, we're not this is not what I'm looking for. But we've had some good conversations where I'm like, I can see this maybe moving forward, but then coronavirus. But yeah, but no, I think I've had really good conversations because it's like straightforward. We're both on an online dating site, so obviously we both want a relationship. So that whole
That's
part,
not obvious, girl. That
Well,
part is not obvious.
not always. Yeah, some people just want
I
to
was like, I
smash.
think that's the problem.
Mhm.
But it's like,
But-
just be honest with that.
Yeah, if you're honest with that, then you've already cut that
Yeah.
off, and then you can move on to people who are serious.
What I was gonna ask is, would you move? First of all, would you increase your the area on the dating apps where it says like meet 50 miles, 100, 2,000 miles, and
Yeah.
would you move if you met somebody that you really like?
100 miles away, sure.
100 miles away could still be California though.
Yeah,
So would you
yeah,
move
out
like
of
out of state or out of country maybe?
Out of country.
Mhm.
In the
Yeah.
coronavirus?
Well, they're doing better than us.
Sure.
Yeah, but will they allow you there?
No, but I
Like
mean,
eventually.
eventually.
Okay, kind
Would
of.
you consider it?
I
Because it would be like starting over.
I mean, I feel like if you're gonna make a family with someone, then you are making a family. You
Yeah.
are building a life. If it's just like we're dating and we'll see where this goes, like I'm licensed in the state of California, so I'm not going anywhere. But if it's serious, like I don't think anybody should make that decision lightly.
Mhm.
But if it's something that's like this is what we need to move to the next phase, and we're both on the same page about doing that. But if you're moving in hopes that that's going to get you to the next phase, like that's probably not a wise decision.
Right. You want to be secure
Yeah.
before you move.
Would you move yours?
Oh, you guys already know.
Yeah.
She's out.
I'm out. Like, cause the minute
It
like,
depends on what stage your relationship is, though.
yeah.
Like, really.
Yeah.
Not how long you've been dating. What
Right.
stage
Yeah.
your relationship.
Yeah.
Yes.
I just believe in just take a chance. I say a lot of things that I don't know.
That's
if
true.
you
Exactly.
know,
You
easy
say a
it
lot
would
of
be
things.
for me to do, but I'm just like, what's the worst that could happen? Besides, they kill you and chop you up into little pieces and put you in the freezer, and then they hear about you on like.
I don't even feel like that's the worst. The worst is that you uproot your whole life and it doesn't work out.
Kill me over that.
Right.
Yeah, once you're dead, you're
I'm
dead.
sorry.
You're suffering
Yeah.
for the time while you're being. You probably not even suffering while you're being chopped up. You're already in so much shock, your body's blacked out. But I think it's just like you have to make like, is this something is it worth the risk? Like, are both of you at the place where you're gonna make a decision to build a life together? And then if it doesn't work out, it's not because you moved in hopes that was gonna make him want to do that with you. If you moved and you're both like, we thought it was gonna work out and it didn't, and you can both walk away like we tried.
Yeah.
But if it's just like I made this sacrifice and
Yeah.
now this thing didn't come through, like you're gonna resent that as well as probably resent yourself for doing that. So no, fam.
Do you guys have something that you really like about online dating that you prefer over meeting someone in person, like organically?
It's hilarious.
Really? It's like seeing all the different humans that are out there.
It's funny until you realize that there are also probably people showing your picture to others.
Mhm.
laughing
My
at you.
Yeah.
I always think about that. I'm like, I'll be cracking joke after joke after joke, and I'm like, meanwhile, you're the butt of somebody's joke on the other end of the
That don't stop
song.
me. Don't bother me now.
No, I still laugh, and then I'm like, that's sad. Humble me, Jesus. Okay.
What about you? Nothing.
Nothing at all.
Anybody else?
I would rather meet organically, but this is the world we live in, so I've accepted it.
Because there's still some people today, especially Christians, who are like, nope, I would never ever do online dating. It's just not for me.
But
And
why?
I always wondered that, like, why? Like, what is
But I
that?
think
What's
it's
the
hard
reason
when you
for
have
it?
like a
I haven't
whole,
heard
like
one.
you have an idea about how you're gonna meet the person you're with.
Mhm.
But I think it's like what we were talking about the other day. It's like all these expectations you may have
Yeah.
about your relationship, your marriage, your wedding, your family, how you have kids, all of that stuff. God laughs at those plans
Yeah.
because
Yeah.
those are not of Him, and so it's like you have to mourn that whole story that you've told yourself for how many years, and then move forward. Like, what is your ultimate goal? Is it to be with someone, or is it to have your story come true?
Right.
Right.
Wow.
You can
Wow.
have one thing.
Exactly.
Wow.
Well, why?
This is the world we live
It
in.
sucks because there are some people that get both.
That's true.
But to hold on to that
And there's
expectation.
people that have none.
Yeah.
But regardless, you have to work towards what you want. And it's like Dems was saying this morning, alignment.
Yeah.
You know,
that
meeting
was a
somebody
word.
who, yeah, it's a good word, who like you both are working towards a purpose, and like you're not always going to be on the same page,
Yeah.
but y'all both in the same book.
Yeah.
you
Y'all
know,
are on the same road. Walking the same
somewhere
way.
you're like at least you meet.
At
You
least in
know,
the same country,
you're
on
in the
different
same-
continents.
It's like, fam,
Something,
you in
but if
Africa,
you
I'm over
want-
here in the South.
Snow, and I want summer, which I do. How does it gonna work, bro? How? Terrible analogy.
Keep the air on at 65.
65.
She's gonna freeze.
That's not-
Yeah.
She would literally be an icicle.
I wouldn't because I wouldn't stay in the house. I'm out.
You would.
Just
I
put
would,
more
though.
clothes
You're right.
on.
Yeah.
Wow.
I'm just saying you get to a space heater and you'll be fine, or an electric blanket. But you will. I think all those things that we're all like, we would never do this. I mean,
Yeah.
God laughs at that.
Yeah, he does. Because then you see yourself in the future, you're like, wow.
There are things now that I said I would never. I said I would never work night shift. I said 8 p.m.
And we
I'm
believed it
asleep.
for you.
Yes. Look at me now. I'm like, I would never work day shift. You know, because I'm like, I love being awake at night. So never say never, I guess, is the bottom line. Would you guys pay for a dating site or like for a dating coach type thing? Who would set you up?
Like a matchmaker.
Mm-hmm.
I would. It's a worthy investment.
I would want to see what kind of people they got first. Like, who are you trying to match? Who's in your book?
Like,
I don't want anybody in your book.
I'll
would
be
you like
fine
to see
at
their
experiment.
success stories
I
first?
would.
No, I want to
Those
see
people
who's
are
available.
expensive.
They are
like
super
thousands
expensive.
of dollars.
Yeah.
If somebody who wants to sponsor me,
Not me, girl. You guys be a doctor. You sponsor yourself.
Amen.
A dating site is way cheaper, even the most expensive ones, than a dating coach.
Yeah.
That's true. I was talking to my friend at work, and she was telling me that she doesn't like the notion of paying for something like eHarmony or Match.com or something like that, because she's like, why not just spend more time in prayer instead? I'm like, I understand where that's coming from, but at the same time, it's like,
Faith without works, fam.
yeah, I'm also like, I ain't got the time. No, I have time to pray and fast, but I just feel like I don't have time to waste not attempting to maybe try one of those sites if they have high
And to know that
success
God
rates.
is powerful enough to block it if it's not supposed to happen.
Right.
Like,
Exactly.
So then you're on $500.
so I think
But
what
it's
I've
like
heard-
an investment.
it is. It's like we
You can
spend
lose the money.
$500 on plenty of things that.
Exactly. They don't last. So
I think what I've heard people say, and this is probably the more like heavy conversations like, okay, as a woman, as a child of God, like you going after a man, you know, putting your profile out there and like actively swiping and like looking at men, like how is that godly? You know,
How is
like,
it not?
Yeah.
but I'm saying like this is a conversation that I would imagine somebody's watching this right now and like that's something that they're wondering. Like, you know, because we're taught the man is supposed to lead. But here's what I've learned. That ain't even really biblical like that's for real. So like we were taught all of these things that are not like a lot of it is tradition. Like we have internalized this so much to the point where like it becomes Bible truth, but it's not a principle that's like highlighted in scripture from my understanding. This is a conversation that I had with a couple of pastors and it's like, yeah, we got to this point where it's like the man is the priest of the home. Where?
You're saying that's not biblical?
It's not.
It's not.
It's not. We've just heard
Where
it
does that come from,
so
then?
much. Because it's like
it's a mix of Eurocentric tradition
yeah.
and
No, why do people say that that's
So
biblical?
because it's like, you know, okay, like when Paul describes the church, right, as
Uh-huh.
the bride, and God is the husband,
Right.
and then he goes on to, you know, like liken your marital relationship
Right.
like God and the church.
Right.
So it's like, well, God is in charge. If the church is the bride, then me as the bride, I'm under God, right? And then it also says like, you know, wives submit to your husband. And so like all of those
You're
things
called
like
to be priests.
yeah,
it
cause
also does say
peace.
submit to one another, but we tend to
It does, but we're focused
ignore
on that. And then also we forget the fact that the way the Bible is written, everything is catered to the man because of the cultural context in which these writers were writing. And so is it wrong to have your man be the leader of the home? Absolutely not. Go ahead and lead, boo. Listen, I'm happy to follow. You know, but if you as the woman are like leading in certain aspects, like financially, what's wrong with that?
Right.
Or like spiritually, you're the one who is a little bit more, you know, maybe not even that, but you've had the opportunity to like maybe spend a little bit more time with God, or like you're the one who's, you know, just like at that point more mature spiritually. What's wrong with
Oh,
that?
there it is.
So I think that that's where a lot of women get stuck in. I need a man to lead me. I need a man to, you know, he got to be standing up in front of the church doing X, Y, and Z. Otherwise, he's not a viable candidate. And there are a lot of teachers who teach that. There are a lot of pastors and spiritual, you know, faith groups that say that is an absolute prerequisite. And I'm not saying it's bad. Like, I don't want somebody who's going to lead me down to hell. But also, I don't think that it's necessary, and it's certainly not biblical in my understanding to, like,
To have that full expectation.
to have that expectation that this man, like, if he ain't able to quote Genesis, he not the one.
I think it-
quote Genesis.
Nobody.
I think it goes back to though being unequally yoked.
Right.
Yeah.
That's the most important thing. That doesn't talk about, oh, you have to both worship on Saturday, or you both have to be vegetarian, or you have to be quoting Genesis. It's just equally yoked, like what that means to you. And so, I don't know, I think it goes back to that.
To me, equally yoked means we both believe that Jesus Christ is Lord.
Come on, gray area.
No. I'm just saying, like, we don't have to be the exact same denomination.
Mm-hmm.
I just think that we both have to agree on who we serve and who is our God. Because that would prevent, I mean, marriage is already hard from everything I hear. It's already hard enough. But when you add that whole, you worship Allah, I worship Jesus, you and Buddha are tight, me and Jesus are homies. It's just like, there's some conversations that you'll never be able to have at the same level just because you're not equally yoked. And that's something I would like to avoid. But I don't know if that's something that I'm unwilling to compromise on.
You talking about like Buddha, or you talking about like you both believe in Jesus? But
That's
like,
what she said.
No, I'm saying like for example, I'm saying when you're saying it's not, you don't know if it's something you're willing to compromise. I'm saying that if you meet somebody and like everything aligns, like pop, 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 right? And he believes in Jesus, but not like, you know, he and Jesus are like tight.
He's more spiritual,
He's
not religious.
spiritual, you know, and he does yoga and he's lost.
You be burning that incense.
I don't know why you guys think I want a
She
dude
doesn't
with
really want
locks.
locks.
I really don't care. It really doesn't. It doesn't even cross my mind when I look at a guy. I'm like, oh, he has locks. Are they cute? Fine. If they're not, it doesn't really make any difference to me. I'm just saying what I mean is, I don't know that I would not be okay with someone who wasn't Christian but who was like a wonderful person and who was
You don't
willing
like the
to.
Lord.
That's the problem. It's like
I think that's really.
it's hard. It's hard for me to
I think
say.
it's something to think about. It seems very easy to think about in the abstract when you're thinking about your daily life with
That's-
somebody.
Me wake up and pray like
Yeah,
why
like
should
you're
pray with me?
praying and they're not praying with you. It's like there's so much of no, I'm not saying that you can't, but
Mhm.
so much, particularly for our denomination, so much of this is a lifestyle.
Yes, it's a culture too.
And there's a culture that we were raised in, and whether or not you even are, whether or not you buy into all of that or not, it's like, yeah, when you wake up and you want to pray and he's like, I'm good, fam, I love you. Like I said, a positive affirmation for you today. Take that with you. Love and light. Go forth in your day. Or when you're like, it's Sabbath, can we please turn off the game and do this? And he's like, no, fam, I'm good. I love you. I'll meet you upstairs for bed and other things. You know, you're going to be like, I don't want to do those other things because I'm mad. But even on top of that, I think if you do not plan to have children, then you can probably make that work.
Yeah.
But if you have a child, not only are both of you just going to want to impart your beliefs to your child, but if you are a Christian, you carry the weight of knowing that God has entrusted this soul to your care.
Yes.
And you're going to have to answer for that when you get to heaven. And if you made decisions in your life to, I won't say lead your child astray, because I think there are people in different folds that God will call to himself. But you did not make the path clear for your child. If they do stumble, I think there will be some accountability for that.
I agree.
And so it's like considering the weight of all of those things, in addition to just like marriage is the blending of two lives that have never been together. And so why would you add, extra layers to that complication?
Difficulty,
It's kind of like, I think the religion layer, like that's a huge
Yeah.
thing to take on. And I think, you only love somebody when you love them. At the outset, you don't love them. And at the outset, are you Buddhist? Okay, this ain't gonna work, fam. It's been fun. Let's be friends. But once you're in it, like to make that decision is going to be incredibly difficult to leave someone that you love.
It's like I 100% agree with that. It's just that sometimes we have some people who are like her father is Muslim, her mother is Christian. She and her siblings are Christians and they chose Christianity. There's another YouTuber who's also raising the same thing where her father is Muslim. Her name's Muslim, but she's Christian. And they're not the norm, but some people are able to make it work. So I think about those things and I'm like, should I just discount all non-Christians? Even though I really want to discount all non-Christians, but I'm like, the pool is already so small.
I don't think you have to discount somebody, but you can tell them this is the lifestyle that I intend to lead.
Yeah.
And is it something that because also my other thing is and I have multiple siblings, two of which have been in relationships or into relationships because someone had a different faith in them. And it's kind of like, but if I believe what I say I believe, then how could I not want you to believe this as well? Because if I believe this is literally going to save my very soul, how could I be comfortable with you, someone that I love, not knowing about that?
Right.
Living, in disconnect to that. And it's like, I don't know these people. I've never watched their channel, so sorry to that man. I don't know him.
These are regular people.
But it's kind of like, is their father a devout Muslim?
Right.
Because if he was a devout Muslim, would his children have been raised Christian?
Right.
He probably
You
isn't a
have
devout
friends
Muslim.
who you love who don't believe the same way you do.
I do.
And
Very
you have
different.
a whole life with them.
I do.
No, it's very different.
So no.
No.
When you get
but it is very different.
very
That's the
different.
same.
When you get married, every decision that you make will affect your
collective.
spouse.
Yeah.
Every decision. Like when I do something, although you love me, it's not going to innately affect you.
Right.
And we're as close as can be, but that's not going to innately affect you. But whatever I do, 100% affects my husband. And so I think it goes back to also purpose of marriage. Is purpose of marriage for companionship? Is it for joy? Is it for sex? Is it for reproduction? Or is it for salvation?
Right.
If you believe that it's for salvation, that's something that you have to decide before you get married. If it's for that, then you have to find someone that will get you there. If it's not, then find someone that you can be a companion with or that you can procreate with.
I advocate for marriage for the 2 S's. Salvation.
And sex.
There you go.
Those are good.
So I think what you're saying is if you know your purpose in seeking marriage or even dating, because not everybody's dating to get married, then it will help steer your online dating experience.
Then you won't look at it as narrowing the pool.
Right.
Then you will look at it as I'm weeding out so God can let me focus in on what is actually intended for me.
Yeah.
Because when we look at it, I remember being single and being like, man, there's so many people out there. I'm getting older. How am I going to find this one person? And the way I met my husband, very, very strangely, it just happened, And there's nothing that I could have done that actually did that except listen to God's voice, And so it's just like, it's when you ordain that and you leave that to God, He'll let it happen. Not in our timing, at all.
Hello.
At all. But He'll make it happen.
That's a good way of looking at it.
So what you're saying is don't do nothing.
That's not what you're saying at all.
Because I definitely did all the things.
while you're waiting for God to talk to you, you gotta be active.
Faith and works, they go.
If you're not on the bicycle trying to ride it, God is not gonna make it move.
I'm just back and forth, like, you hear, you like start, you go online or whatever, and then you get discouraged, and then, you hear
It
people
is
that are like,
discouraging.
it's
It is
gonna
discouraging.
happen when it happens.
It's discouraging.
Everybody always says, when I wasn't
No,
looking, that's when,
Yeah.
No, I don't believe that. Sometimes when you're looking, it happens. No,
Exactly.
I think it sucks.
Yeah.
Being single sucks. But also, there are other things that suck
Yeah.
when you're in marriage, right?
Right.
So it's like, if you're not going to, like, waiting for this better life. You're enjoying your life right now. That, I think, is the biggest thing.
Yeah.
When I was single, I tried to enjoy my life.
And you
to
did.
its fullest, which I did. But I also have to be honest. Was I lonely? Did I really want to be with something?
Yeah.
Yes. That is what it is.
Because I was talking to my mom the other day, and she was saying how she's already bought clothing for her grandchildren.
Dang.
And it just made me so sad. I was like, I want to give her grandchildren. But also, she was telling me that her father was telling our oldest aunt that when she was before she was getting married, like when she was off in school, and he would tell her that in Igbo that friendship has an end. Or like it thins out. He was like, you're gonna start seeing all your friends start to get married and have children, and it's gonna dawn on you that, oh, I'm not in the same phase of life. So eventually you're gonna want the same thing. So he was telling her to start thinking about that and also start seeing if you can pursue finding someone that you can spend the rest of your life with. And my mom was telling me that. I'm like, no, you are right. Because I love my friends like to death. But I also, every single time that one person gets married or has a child, it's just a reminder that I'm not in that phase of life, and they're, no matter how close we are as friends, they're still, this is their family. Their new family that they founded.
As it should be.
Yeah,
As it should be.
It's interesting. Gina and I were just talking about this on the drive here.
I wasn't there.
No, I just think it's
We
something
know, we were on the
that
drive
we
here,
constantly think about because of our friend group, because we
Yeah.
love so hard. So how is that going to change once you get married? And Gina was saying, if I can quote you, you were like, me as Stephanie would do anything for you guys.
Yeah.
If you call me, I'm here. I'm going to be on a plane. I'm here. If my husband is in the hospital and you call me, I'm sorry. I love you. I will send you money, but I'm not leaving him. I mean, that is what it is.
Right.
But also understanding, like, as Gina put it very vividly, like, we have two cups, right? The cup that you guys fill, my husband will never be able to fill. The cup that he fills, like, no one else can fill. And being okay with that, because I think a lot of times when people that, even me when I was single, when I looked at people that were married, you have one cup. Your husband's gonna fill that, and you're gonna be good because you have, and that's not the case.
Yeah.
Like that, I think is it for me would be a disaster for my marriage because I need my friends still,
Right.
and that's okay.
Yeah. No, you're right. You're right. I can't imagine going to marriage and then cutting, everybody off. I will be frequenting your places.
You couldn't possibly. I already
No.
told you my kids are they're coming to live
No,
with
they're
you.
not.
And then they'll vacation.
They're not. Are you eating this?
That's mine.
There's a
another
whole
one
one
here.
right there.
Actually, go ahead, because this is
No,
I only had a
Let's
few.
share.
No, I still have mine. I am
Dennis?
backing up. Oh, from the gluten. Yeah, these festivals are bomb.
They're so good. It tastes
I
like
know.
buns.
I wish I could have got like
Yeah,
half
that's what-
dumpling,
that's
half festival. Like one dumpling,
No.
two festival.
What?
What are you doing?
I don't know what
Let me
she's
get
doing.
a little.
I was gonna say, if you
little
don't want
quarter
it,
of that. I
No,
just
no,
want to
take-
try.
take-
No, I just want to try it.
No, no,
I
no.
haven't. No, I don't want that whole thing.
But I'm not
you
gonna
don't want it.
It's good, but it literally is
It's just
lactic flour.
It's so filling.
Yeah, like you
Why
can't
do
eat
people
like
eat that?
I don't know what it is. It tastes good.
it does
It's
taste
just
good, but I
flour.
feel like I've actually never had a boiled one until right now. I've only ever had them fried.
There's
I
fried.
thought
Yeah,
these
they
were
fried
fried.
dumpling. Yeah, I thought so too. Because I asked you, I was like,
Yeah.
"Is it fried?" You're like, "Yeah, it's fried." I've never had.
I've never had
boiled.
it fried.
It's bomb fried. It's
Yeah.
like that, but not sweet.
Just fried, compacted flour.
Yeah.
It's bomb.
No, someone made those for me recently here, like boiled potatoes and
No, I really thought
dumpling
they were
with like
fried.
a
That's
sauce.
I was like, "This is making you Jamaican
I
food." And then
know.
I
That
was
was
like,
the
"Never
first time I
mind."
had it. I was like, it's pretty good. But also,
With the
what's
hot
that
sauce and the yellow, it's bomb.
No, it wasn't spicy at all.
No, it's not spicy. It's just good.
Yeah.
It's like pickly.
What's that mean?
Because you said you're not eating it.
I didn't say. I said I shouldn't, but I will.
You said this is gonna tear up my stomach.
It is.
So let me help you out, sis.
It's too late. I already had a couple bites. That's all it takes.
Nicole has the most food left in her plate.
Literally.
I tried. And it looks so messy. I'm sorry.
No, it
It doesn't
doesn't.
look messy.
Okay, cool.
Well, I finished mine.
Yours
Jen
was like
struggled.
half
Yeah,
as
you have a
small.
tiny little bowl.
Was it good?
It was good.
I don't understand.
It was oilier than I expected.
At work.
Ooh, what does that smell like? None of your business.
Yeah, your whole office. Yeah, the best thing about curry is the potatoes. They just suck
The
up
potatoes
all
are
the
bomb.
flavor. They're so good.
Really? That's the best thing?
So good. Yeah.
Yeah, the
I
But
think
potato.
Gina loves
It's
potato.
because you don't eat meat.
I'm like, if you eat meat, you
Yeah.
get that. But I feel like the potatoes, probably, they
Potatoes,
just
yeah.
suck up like any kind of stewed
It's so
potato.
flavorful.
Whew.
Potato is a humble vegetable. You know?
And one of the most important ones.
Delicious. Fried.
It will prevent you from starving.
The only
No,
time it's
true.
not good is baked. I don't like baked potatoes.
Really?
What? Because baked potatoes, I'm not talking about like roasted potatoes. I'm talking about like
No,
baked
yeah.
potato with toppings.
Yeah.
The only reason people like to eat baked potatoes is because of the toppings.
Yes.
So that's why it's gross.
I like
Fry
the
the
potato
potato,
too.
cut the potato, roast it, do something like, how dare you disrespect the potato, but it's putting it in simple foil
It's delicious.
or in the
And
microwave.
the skin is
Yes,
so
it's
good.
delicious.
Good.
I like it.
It's also healthier.
Give me a french fry, give me a roasted potato, give me a scalloped potato, boiled potato. Like, I don't
So
know
many
what you
things.
want.
Now we're sounding like the dude from Forrest Gump who was like, you can roast it, boil it, grill it
Shrimp?
with the
What was
shrimp.
the title?
It was the shrimp.
Bubba.
Bubba.
Oh, Bubba.
No,
You've never watched
I
Forrest
don't.
Gump?
I'm
That's
maybe.
a good movie. It's kind of sad.
It is sad.
But it's one of the best movies they ever made. It's so good. Well, folks, I hope you enjoyed our mukbang, our eating. Just in case you're new to my channel, I do food, I do money, and I do reviews. So that's why there's
You should
a
subscribe.
mukbang. And you should subscribe,
You
please,
should.
if you liked it. And give me a thumbs up, please. It really helps the YouTube algorithm. I'll appreciate it. And I'm actually going to go to my work, my job now.
And save some lives.
Great
Or
stuff.
try not to kill any.
No, you're Alexi.
No,
You're
this is
professional.
actually a
No.
lifesaver. She
I was
saves
gonna
a
say,
baby.
this is her first time on the podcast.
This is Stephanie's first
And you
time on
didn't
the
even
podcast.
introduce
She did.
yourself.
Oh,
She did.
Not for real.
Actually, we didn't introduce
She
ourselves.
did.
No, not for real.
It's okay. They know. They.
We literally just
Yeah.
started.
We
You
were
were
hungry.
hungry.
We were hypoglycemic.
Oh man. Okay, go ahead.
What am I saying?
I did introduce her.
Lord.
How about you start from that end so I
We've been
understand?
on this channel.
So I understand.
They've seen them.
Yeah, we don't see anything special.
This is Gina's second and last time.
Every time the first episode, this is her first and last time.
Yay!
Because Gina keeps disrespecting bananas and chocolate and sweet plantains and now potatoes.
I like what I like.
So
I'm very
Be
decisive.
strong in your dislikes and likes.
You gotta know. You don't got time to be digesting things you don't want to eat. That's too
wow.
much.
That's interesting.
That's a lot of work for
I
your
feel
body.
like I do that every time I bite
I
from the
know.
cafeteria.
That's why you look like that.
Beautiful. All right.
You
Well,
introduce Stephanie
This is
Felton.
Dr. Stephanie Felton. She is originally from, I'm going to say California because I'm going to
There
claim
you
California for you.
There you go.
Yes, originally from California. But now she lives in Texas and she's far away. So we're very happy that she's here.
We're very
She's
happy.
visiting in these colonial times. We're very happy to see
But we
her.
all got tested first.
Yes,
Now
and
we're on our
quarantines,
masks.
warm baths,
You gotta do all the
it's
things.
hand sanitize.
Yes.
We have the detoxifying shower.
She's part of the
Yeah,
quarantine.
holy water, spray, spray, spray.
Quarantine?
The quarantine.
The quarantine.
Yes.
I like that.
Cute.
Yeah. So we're really happy she's here and that we're able to do this mukbang. This food is from Island Breeze, which is a Jamaican black-owned restaurant in Colton, California, and it was delicious.
It was
Delicious.
Good job,
The
guys.
festival particularly.
Yes.
So good.
Yes. Excellent job,
Everything
guys.
was great.
And the hot sauce. I don't know what they
And
call
the
it.
vegetables. I
And
think
the
it's
vegetables.
Like, normally
Yeah.
at Caribbean, we be
Yeah.
stewing ourselves down to it's
Nah,
like,
this
this
is
is like a
crunchy.
vegetable.
Yeah.
It's consistently good.
Yeah.
Yeah. We didn't try the patty, but I'll eat it at work.
I can't eat.
I can't eat anymore right now.
I gotta be laying down to eat more.
That makes no sense.
I gotta give some more room. I gotta let everything spread out a little bit.
Can you stand up and show the
No.
people how
Absolutely
small her belly is?
Absolutely not.
It's adorable. Like my whole hand, which is really small.
Your hand is tiny. You're like a little elf.
And that's what I'm saying. You're gonna miss the whole thing. And still.
Daniela reminds me of a hobbit, so I like to hold her hand and
They're
say,
so cute.
I would go on an adventure.
They are.
Like Bilbo Baggins.
You're stupid.
I love them.
Her feet and her little toesies.
Yes,
They're
whatever.
So cute.
Like a
Either
little
way,
baby.
they are fully functional.
For comparison purposes, I'm sure you
Oh, is that for real?
That's for real. And I don't even have huge
Is that the
hands.
first
That's
time you're
real.
No,
life.
I know her
Yeah,
hands
that's
are
pretty
tiny,
extreme.
but that's extreme.
We're not
together.
small.
We're
They're not that much bigger.
No, you have small hands.
She
I
has
do.
small
I
hands
have small
too.
hands too.
See?
so-
Listen.
No, you have long,
small
slender
hands
fingers.
matter, guys. Small hands matter.
And
Don't let them judge you.
Let me see yours.
Same
size
What's that? You know that like, it's like a
I
white.
thought you were
no,
white.
yeah,
They don't
it's
white.
weird. It's like, no, it's like white.
Basically,
fluffy.
all of us have
It's like
small
an ugly
hands.
cat.
Nah.
You're so
Nah.
small. It reminds me.
You're
so
The picture's used for a lot of things. Okay, she
Also, sparkling water is disgusting.
It is
No,
great.
it's not.
It's disgusting. It is
That
not.
wonderful.
It's only good in kombucha.
me try it.
That was very
Courtney
inappropriate.
agrees with me.
And
Shout out
it's
to Courtney.
raspberry lime. Ugh.
You just have to find the flavor that
It
you
doesn't
like.
make sense.
Oh, that's actually very tasty.
Thank you. It is
It
good.
tastes like a raspberry.
I only
It
bought it
does.
to put it in kombucha, and somehow it's almost gone. I need
Because I've
to
been
replenish my kombucha.
You
thing.
got
It's
these
good in
on
kombucha.
chill? Oh, I thought these were gonna be in the fridge. I was
No,
like,
Those
I
are
got-
good.
I don't like it too
We got
cold.
some better drinks. I got you.
you got
Do we?
We don't.
Oh,
We
you
have
got more
kombucha.
of
And her
elderflower,
kombucha is homemade. It's
sparkly
really
grape.
good.
Sparkly grape.
I don't know what that is.
I
Do I
don't
like kombucha?
Yeah, do you like kombucha, Seth?
I drink it because it's good for you.
Oh, okay.
It's not because of
It's
enjoyment.
I made some.
delicious.
There's good kombucha in there.
Oh, really?
It actually tastes good because it has
Okay.
like sparkling water. Yeah, and it's not too tart, so feel free to partake
The
and
target's better.
enjoy.
It's really cold in here, guys.
All right, so that's the end of our mukbang.
Subscribe.
Subscribe.
Bye.
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 We're good.
Bye, Yermies.
Bye.